Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Robert Gibbons. I'm on my Faith Art Walk series, and I ran into a beautiful soul. State your name for the audience.
Ngoma.
Baba Ngoma, it's such a pleasure sharing space with you. I want to talk a little bit about witnessing with you. What is your take on witnessing? I've read your book, beautiful book, by the way. Hopefully, everybody in the audience will support him. I didn't come here to tap dance. And talk a little bit about, I feel like you are a witness. Talk a little bit about that to my audience.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if I had thought about it in that manner,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess it is. Um, our story has to be told, and we need to tell it.
Yes.
And I've taken it upon myself to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
And simple but complex.
Yes.
Uh, if you want to know why, I feel that there's a lot of information that people don't have. That if they did have it, they would make different. Um, they would do things differently.
Yes.
You know, but they don't act on things because they don't know. So somebody's got to tell them. If I feel I have enough information to tell
Gotcha. I appreciate that. I want to just say I've known you a very long time. I've known you a very long time since I've been in New York City, and you've always been the same type of witness. I want you to talk a little bit to my audience of, truth telling and also, you know, not backing down. I think like when I hear your work, which is powerful, prolific, and witnessing, talk a little bit about to the audience about really not backing down on the narrative that you proclaim.
my work has a purpose, and that's the way I approach it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the purpose is to raise social, political, and spiritual consciousness.
Right.
So I don't do other stuff.
Mm-hmm. No.
I just that's what that's my contribution.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has to make some contribution. Something you got to do. You got to pay some dues.
Right.
The dues I pay is I tell the truth.
Yes.
Now you say, okay, well that's not dues. Well, it is. I mean,
Yes, it is.
Because a lot of times when you tell the truth,
Right.
you can't get the accolades that you should be getting.
Exactly.
And you don't get invited to the stages that you should get invited.
You got that right.
You know, so in that case, it's a sacrifice for me to tell the truth.
Right. And I really appreciate you saying that because it's the truth. That's all I can say. That's the only way I can answer that. But I want to keep it. I want to keep this narrative quick and going on. I want to talk a little bit about your biography. Is so big, and I'm just writing a review for this book, but your biography is big. I want to talk a little bit about the soldier part of you. I've seen pictures in the past, and every once in a while they'll pop up on my timeline. Talk a little bit about how that has affected your storytelling.
I don't know if it affected my storytelling or it just gave me more of a story.
Mm-hmm.
I was drafted.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't volunteer.
Okay. And what war was this?
In Vietnam.
Vietnam War. Okay.
And I got drafted. I ended up being an infantryman, a PFC infantryman at that.
Mm-hmm.
And interestingly enough, a lot that people don't know is there are a lot of GIs that resisted.
Mm.
They didn't just, yes, sir.
Gotcha.
They did various acts of resistance while they were in the army.
Gotcha.
So, and I was very much a part of that resistance.
Wow.
So therefore, my story is different. I'm not talking about, yes, sir, no, sir. We're going to do what you, that wasn't,
gotcha.
That wasn't
it doesn't seem like you're that type anyway, but.
Because of it, I didn't make no rank. I did the whole year in Vietnam as an infantryman that came out of PFC.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And I'm proud of that.
Got it.
Not the fact I'm proud of the fact that I only got that far.
Right.
Within that.
Well, we're definitely proud of you. We love you. We love who you are. We love the positive energy you put in the world. I want to move this along. I want you to talk a little bit about your relationship with the Amiri Baraka, and then we'll talk a little bit about your ordination to Baba. All right.
when I was in the Army, my friends would send me books.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to read a lot. And it was before you could take Black Studies courses. Okay, I'm talking 1967 and 68. And these courses weren't in effect. But they sent me a lot of information that I could glean and get a better worldview.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to get that particular worldview while I was in war. You know, so as I was reading people like E. Franklin Frazier,
Yes.
C.L.R. James.
Yes.
Okay. So I decided, well, okay, what I want to do is, if I survive this experience reasonably, saying it in one piece, I want to take all of my energies to do whatever it is I can do to help my people.
Yes.
And what is it that I can do? So I had a craft. My craft was my music. So I just decided to try to, figure out how I could do that. One of the main things I was looking for was an organization that I could be a part of,
Right.
where people were doing, making change.
Right.
And I went back to school for a semester, but my roommate had just come back from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the first Congress of African Peoples Conference,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about Amiri Baraka.
Mm-hmm.
But meanwhile, I was hanging out with some Panthers, so we used to always debate, what's the way forward?
Right.
Is it going to be the Panthers, or is it going to be
Right.
Amiri Baraka, or is it going to be Nation of Islam?
Right.
So I ended up moving to, I was in Virginia at the time. I ended up moving to Newark.
Right.
And I joined Baraka's organization. So I wasn't just in the Spirit House movies and plays.
Right.
I was in the Committee for a Unified Newark.
Wow.
I
Okay.
taught in the African Free School.
Wow.
I
Okay.
taught also in the after school program.
Right.
I was also in the Spirit House movies and players, which was his dramatic group, his drama
Yes.
group.
Mm-hmm.
We did everything. Everybody did everything. So
Right.
so I ended up acting in some plays.
Right.
I ended up doing stuff like hanging lights and
Mm-hmm. So you learned everything.
Learn how to do tech work.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so-
Right.
So I did all that.
Because I saw your name on the I guess that's the marquee at the National Black Theater of the original Dutchman. I don't know if that was the original one, but your name was a part of that whole thing they had at the National
I
Black
wasn't
Theater.
in the Dutchman. I was in Junkies Are Full of Shit.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in
You weren't doing lighting or anything behind the Dutchman?
Not the Dutchman.
Okay.
I hadn't come to New York yet.
Okay. All right. So let's move it forward. You are a spiritual leader. Talk about Talk about what Baba means for people that might not know what it means in this audience.
Baba is the African word for father,
Yes.
but it's a short term for Babalawo,
Mm-hmm.
and Babalawo means the keeper of the secrets.
Yes.
So I was initiated as a priest of Obatala
Mm-hmm.
back in 2011. I was kind of late coming into this particular religion. A lot of people in Nigeria, people come into it as kids, as children.
Gotcha.
But it took me a long time to find this path.
Right.
Because it just wasn't out in the open.
Right, because I read your poem. I read the line from your poem. My mother believed in Jesus, but I am a son of Obatala. Is what you say in the line.
So that's the quick and easy.
Yeah.
I was initiated in Nigeria.
Okay.
So.
One last thing, our interview. Thank you so much again, ladies and gentlemen. Baba Ngoma, sharing space with us today. I hope you reach out and definitely connect with him. I'm going to put the information in the bio about his book. What is the future for Baba Ngoma?
I take one day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 78 years old, and I've done a lot of stuff. And I do one day at a time. I don't have like a long range plans, like
Mm-hmm.
next year I'm gonna do this, next year I'm gonna do that.
Right.
I know that sounds.
No.
That don't sound.
That's
like
simple.
You should know what you want to do.
Exactly. How many of us really do, though? For real.
But I take it one day at a time. I continue to write.
Yes.
I continue to do my music. I continue to try to get heard.
It was a pleasure hearing you last night, actually.
And, that's what the future holds. I'm producing music, putting out music, writing poetry, and trying to be heard.
Ladies and gentlemen, Baba and gone.